welcome Jim back to the channel with his forces of Solarian, mostly elves, in this case all elves. Jim, take us through your army list.
Alright, so we're going to start on the right. We've got 10 elf warriors. We've got a level 2 mage. Evidently I'm bouncing all over the place. Chariot. 5 cavalry. I think this is going to be my captain in the middle there. 10 archers, 10 rangers, 12 soldiers, 9 archers with a champion who will have the golden string bow, another 5 cavalry, another chariot, another level 2 mage, spellcaster, and then 10 elf spearmen, coming to $29.99.
Okay, on the defense, we'll see how the elves do tonight against Chris's forces. We welcome Chris back to the channel. He's brought his forces from the kingdom of Aventhia, which is closely aligned with the Chaos Gods. Chris, take us through your army list.
All right, let's start with the best thing. If you look at the far left, that big sea
far
serpent,
left.
I'm using a doggy. All right, I am using a knucker. That's that giant sea serpent. And the knucker is going to be supported by everything else. All right, so the knucker is 500-point big monster model. We'll see how he does here. Right behind him, I do have a pack of hounds. We put them on here because they were given to me.
Kingdom event.
Kingdom event, exactly.
Indeed.
So if you look at the left, those 3 are going to be human soldier units at 15 apiece. And then going over to the middle, we'll go to the units in front. I have 2 mages and 1 human captain. And those mages will be level 2. 1 dwarven, 1 human. Behind them, a unit of 14 line breakers, conveniently with enough space for a captain. And then a unit of 15 line breakers right behind them. I have 4 5-man squads of goblin soldiers. I figure that is the best use I found for them so far. So far. And then over here on the right, I have 2 dwarven champions standing in front of their chariots. So they will be riding chariots into battle. One of them is going to be my unique commander. And then he has the ability where you throw 5 dice.
Blade Storm.
Blade Storm, yes. And then right behind them, I have 2 units of dwarven archers at 15 apiece. Actually, that last one is 16. There's a human that kind of snuck in there.
It's a little taller than the rest. All right, so
Where's
I think
Waldo?
2,900
and now it's going to be 34.
Okay,
points.
again, campaign rules. Chris is iron deficient. He has a minus 2% penalty to his army building. Okay, so we're going to roll up mission and come back and see how the forces are deployed. Chris has rolled up the mission, as you can see by the bridge and the river. It's the cross the river scenario. So Chris, talk us through the scenario, if you would, sir, and the terrain.
Okay, so in this mission, he's over there, and I'm trying to get over there, and he doesn't want me to get over there. So on that half of the river, by the end of 8 rounds, I'm trying to get more units.
Models,
sorry, yes. More models on that side of the river than...
That's an Oathmark callback.
Yeah, it probably is, yeah. He had to deploy a unit within 6 inches of the bridge. So we'll see that Elven soldier unit just up there, as far from the bridge as he could be. And then, that was the only forced deployment, and then as attacker, I deployed first.
Well, before that, let's talk about the river a little bit.
Oh, yes.
So, house rule we have made this crossable. It's essentially what the ford is in the rulebook, where a unit has to stop when they hit the edge of the river, and then it's difficult terrain to cross it. Fords, you do not have to stop when you reach the ford, but they are difficult terrain as you make your way across it. And of course, the bridge is going to be normal. This is a road. So if a unit has its entire movement on the road, it gets to add 2 inches if it's the first move, or 1 inch if it's the second move of its activation.
Yes. Now, we did house rule this scenario because we found it to be incredibly difficult. I think there was a game where you literally smashed me to pieces, and I still came out of 1 model or 2.
With the undead.
Yeah, and I felt like I lost.
And that was even with the new rules, but...
Yeah. Oh.
All right, so your deployment...
Never mind.
Your deployment, sir.
All right, so I realized I had more activations than Jim. So I just strategically started putting them down, kind of covering some mages here, put the goblin forces here, put the wolves over here on the far left, deployed this chariot here. And then, when Jim ran out of units to place, I strategically was forced in a position where I had nowhere else to go other than over here. And so all these units were placed on the right, because as you can see back here, there's not a whole lot of places for them to go.
Indeed not.
So hopefully I fail upwards in my deployment and see how it goes.
Okay, it looks like your captain is right there in the middle,
Yes, right here.
correct? Okay, excellent. Now, Jim, on our side of the table, what we got going on the far right?
Got my chariot over here, my warriors, archers, level 2 spellcaster, my cavalry with the captain here, my regular cavalry, then got the spearmen, hopefully going to hold on the bridge for a little while, more archer support there, level 2 spellcaster, a chariot who's going to have to do some amazing work over here, 12 soldiers, and my 10 rangers hidden in the woods. Chris cannot even see them.
Wait, you have what?
Exactly.
Now, Chris, you have 2 mages. What spells have you taken for them?
All right. So they're each taking heal because I have a knucker and I got a couple chariots.
Okay.
They're healable. And then for the dwarven mage, I have given it Brickheart or however you... I'm messing it up on purpose. Is it Stoneheart or...
I don't know. It's your spell. How many times have I played dwarves, Chris? 0.
You don't get to
Every
cast
time.
it if you don't know what it's called.
Whoa!
That's...
I'm going to yell it out as I cast it. But it's the one where...
Stoneheart is what we normally call it.
Yeah, which I feel like is wrong because I'm always wrong with that one. But it's going to give a unit +1 defense if it goes off. I think it's casting number 8 in order to get off, so not so easy. And then for the human mage over here, I went for Stolen March.
Okay.
So we're going to go a little faster. No offensive spells from Chris Peterson this time.
Unusual. Now, Jim?
Your presence is offensive. So,
on the right.
this guy has True Flight and Dispel
Okay.
to counter the smoke that I was certain you were going to bring. This guy's got True Flight and Tangle Feet.
Ooh.
Lots of true flight going on. Okay. Gentlemen, if you want to shake hands real quick,
Yes.
or not after the offensive count,
Good luck to you.
Good luck.
let's go ahead and roll for initiative.
All right.
And what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and move and fight off camera for turns. We're going to do a short battle report today.
Okay.
All right. Your dice are right
Here's your
there.
dice.
Oh.
As a host, I made
Should I
sure
just-
that you were set up for success.
I'll roll your
before-
dice.
Should I dump
It's
all
okay.
this somewhere?
1 4. Those are your dice. You roll these.
It's highly irregular.
10-9.
10-9.
Well,
Okay.
that's a
And
encouraging start.
we're using the strange and catastrophic events from the River book, which what's the name of that one, Chris? What the river?
The water book.
The water book. There we go. All right, we'll be back after turn 1. Show you what happened. Round 1 is over. Chris has sounded the general advance. Let's hear about it.
Okay, so everyone went forward, and that was my turn. So, the mages did not get their cast off. They tried to cast Stoneheart on the Knucker there. Also tried to cast Stolen March on the Knucker. Knucker did not get more defense or get to go faster.
All right, Jim, over on your side.
The elves did what they're supposed to do. Both spellcasters got off
True Flight.
blanking out. True Flight on this unit and that unit.
Chris, did you get the name of the spell right? That's amazing.
When it's not my spell. Always.
Then these guys all moved forward. These archers hit that unit of 5 goblins, which is now a unit of 4 and shaken, which was nice outing for them.
Technically, that's a unit of 1.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, it was now a unit of 1
Took out
because they took out 4.
Yeah,
I misspoke. Thank you.
Yeah, that's hard.
All right, so my cavalry both moved forward and then turned to the left because obviously there's going to be a lot more trouble over there. So they're repositioning. My spearmen actually moved back. Archers fired on the chariot and inflicted 2 wounds.
Yes.
Very
Shook him
very
as
excited
well.
about
Yeah,
that.
shaken.
It was the golden string bow, by the way.
Which
that,
hit, yeah.
Rolled a 9.
Well done, champion. And then basically some forward movement over there and a slight angle of the chariot to defend that fort.
Okay, well, that's the end of turn 1. Chris, you still have 0 points across the river, so
I'm trying.
not threatening yet. Let's roll for initiative.
Initiative roll 6-5.
That's beatable.
It's very beatable, but
Not with
today.
a 3-2.
Not today.
All right, Mr. Peterson, we're going to go to you, and then we'll come back after turn 2, see what happened. All right, turn 2, both sides have lost some major pieces. Chris, what did you do on your side of the board, sir?
I lost with the chariot. So the chariot actually panicked, took 2 more wounds, and decided it had enough. It's already been healed, and it doesn't want to get healed and take more wounds. So he's gone. And then everyone else kind of ran forward. The dwarf casted the heal, which did go off. Then all my units went forward. I made 3 hits actually work with these archers over here. And these archers over here were able to take out 1 cavalry on that shot over there. And then everything else just kind of ran forward. I was able to get the morale roll here. He already has a wound on it, by the way, from getting shot from archers, but he did not. He made that 7, so he didn't have to take damage and stop trying to cross the river here. And then this guy unshook. Awesome.
Probably the most key part of the round.
And then I got to pull off because of my activation advantage. I was able to save these units for last. I was able to pull off the Stolen March, which went off, which allowed the Knucker to go straight 8 inches on the road, who then activated, and it worked. He pivoted and hit the cavalry unit in the rear.
Yeah, it was devastating.
Took 4 of them out with his nasty teeth.
Jim, you did accomplish some things, though. We already mentioned that the chariot is gone. What else did you manage to do over here?
Well, I repositioned that cavalry onto the other side of the road, and then they're not there anymore. Did it through arrow fire, inflict a wound there.
Failed to spell cast over on your right, but got one over here on your left.
Yeah, did get a tangle feet on them, which slowed them down a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Took out these rangers. Took out 2 soldiers there. I believe they're soldiers.
Mm-hmm.
And that was pretty much it.
Okay. So Chris has 2 units across the board at this point. Let's go ahead and roll for initiative. See who's going first on turn number 3.
Alrighty. 6.
9.
It is you.
8.
All right, be back after turn 3. We're at the end of turn 3. Chris, what have you done this turn, sir?
Okay, so I kept going forward. Now I lost this chariot here. And I lost this unit up here due to archery fire and running panic. Which, by the way, I don't think there we go. They shook. There was some cascading panic.
Yeah, but I thought you cleared it off of them. You did.
They were already. They cleared it the first time. This is the second time they've been shaken.
Okay.
No, I made that roll of a 10. I'm sorry. He shot them and they got a 10 on their roll.
Yes.
Yes. Sorry. Okay, I'm confused. Okay, so everything else kind of pushed forward. The goblins kind of swerved and went this way. I was able to get off my Stoneheart on the Knucker.
Defense 14.
Defense 14. Now the Knucker being here. Has decided to reactionary wheel because he approached the Knucker as close as he could. He failed his activation to charge it, and then he wheeled as much as he could, which actually allowed him. He pivoted and then he wheeled, which kind of put him at an angle able to hit those archers. So he went forward and bit quite a big chunk of them off.
7 of them and shook them.
7 of them shook him. So Phil is still alive in the river. He gets a name now.
Jim, you've done some damage yourself. What have you done this turn?
Took out that other chariot, hit that unit of warriors. Again, lots of arrow fire. And then my chariot charge as well.
Yeah, so he hit a unit that was shaken that Chris had stepped out of the river with, and then did enough damage to farther shake him and broke him, and that's why Chris was problematic there for a minute. Other than that, I think that's about it. Knucker is... Jim has no plan to address the Knucker.
Well, this would have been very different if my spearmen had been up for the challenge.
Yeah, you did fail activation when the spearmen were going to charge him in the side.
Which would have
tied him up,
which is all I wanted to do.
Yeah.
All right, so let's go ahead and do initiative for turn number 4.
Initiative roll. 3-1.
9.
Okay.
10.
Here we go. We are at the end of turn 4. The humans have started to cross the river, that's for sure. Kind of stalled over on Chris's left. Chris, what's going on?
Okay, so over here on the left there are less units than there were now. Actually, that one lone goblin here got to run up and charge on those warriors. Got into a combat he had a slight disadvantage on, but still won that combat and pushed these units back. In fury, Jim actually shot my one goblin to death. I don't know if it was wise, but it was emotional. So I'm just kidding. These units sat still over here. These archers, they did something fancy to no effect. I was trying to wheel myself in a way where I wanted to shoot them, but I was quickly reminded that the chariots are large. That is going to be the closest target, pretty much no matter what. So I had to wheel so I could even catch this unit as the closest unit off my corner. I moved some goblins up, but this one lone cavalry came. First they got shot over here.
Yes, they did.
Back here. And then this lone cavalry came and took another one out. And then they joined forces. And so he's on the bridge with this cavalry. The other goblins wheeled forward over here. I did get my my Stoneheart and my Stolen March off this round. This captain unit of line breakers was able to get a little bit extra of a move, get some more defense, and was able to wheel around. This unit got decimated. There were 14 of them. Now there's 5. They got shot up and charged by a chariot and pushed back. My archers failed to hit the chariots with all their dice, and that brings me... Oh, the Knucker got tied up. He sent in 6 spearmen. Now there's only 4 spearmen remaining, but the Knucker...
I sent in 10 spearmen.
Yes, sent in 10 spearmen. There's only 4 spearmen remaining, but the Knucker didn't get to really choose what it was doing this turn.
They look forward to dying the same way their brothers did.
Yeah.
Well, actually, decimate means to kill 1 out of every 10. So, Jim, what did you do?
So Chariot held. Spellcaster finally got the true flight off on those rangers all the way across the board that Chris still cannot see.
Great effect.
What rangers are you talking about?
Like Chris said, these archers took care of that one goblin that was annoying. The warriors got annoyed by the goblin. Chris already talked about the cavalry, which is now positioned there. My archers... well, I don't remember what they shot. They shot at the goblins. Yeah. Okay. Spellcaster tried to cast Tanglefoot and failed. Succeeded. I don't remember.
He failed.
Successfully failed.
Chariot. Chris has already talked about that. He's covered everything, I think.
Okay. Well, then let's go to turn number 5 and roll some initiative.
I'm going to win this
This is
one.
kind of a big one.
I feel it. 2-2.
2-2. Something strange has happened.
So beatable.
So beatable. 3-3.
3-3.
Oh,
Of course, it's going to go crazy here.
I destroyed you on that initiative.
no. You did in every way.
Dismantled you.
It is the end of turn 5, and Chris has a beachhead on the near side, the Elven side. Chris, what'd you do this turn? How'd it go?
Okay, wow, there's a lot to explain. Okay, so I ran up and charged the cavalry so they wouldn't get an activation.
Despite the Knucker having eaten some bad food
Yeah.
and having +2 to activation.
Oh, and then my special was choose a commander who couldn't use command that round. So
Yeah.
did affect him. What happened is these guys came over and charged the side of this spear unit, which pushed him out of the way. The Knucker then, on Jim's next move, spun around and charged the rear of the other cavalry unit, taking 4 more of those out. Over here, this unit didn't get to do much. The archers took out 1 unit here. Jim charged this unit in, and I got some good hits on that combat.
5 of them, as a matter of fact.
Yeah, so that one resolved. There are no longer dogs on the board, so those got shot to pieces. The archers wheeled in such a way they could no longer see the chariot, and they took some shots on those archers over there. And then my mages ran forward, ready for battle.
And you got off another
I did.
Stolen March.
I got enough Stolen March? I did, I think. These guys moved. Stoneheart.
Stolen March.
I did.
Yes. Jim, you did shoot with the dogs. What sound did the dogs make as they were dying to your arrows?
Yep. Made me sad.
Wow, puppy
I'm not
killer.
good at dog impersonations. There you go.
That's probably not.
So
These guys did manage to put some hurting on them,
They
correct?
did. Cavalry took out those goblins.
Goblins that charged the
Yeah.
cavalry, yeah.
And then archers there shot up. I don't even remember. I think these guys.
Yes, and they
Yeah.
took away a rank bonus by
Yes.
taking 2 of them off.
But the elves are not feeling super confident at this point.
Okay. All right, let's roll for initiative to go turn 6.
I'm gonna get one of these, Jim.
I kind of hope not.
I kind of would like to get an initiative dice. Please give me an initiative.
Elves have initiative, as it's ordained. We're at the end of turn 6, and we're going to go from Jim's perspective this time. Jim, what happened this turn?
Nothing great. Well, nothing. I don't even remember.
Okay,
You tell me.
so you one activation initiative, activate it with your captain
Cavalry
here
and the spearmen.
and the spearman. Spearman tides up Nucker. Cavalry charges into goblins, takes out 2, and then Chris, what do the goblins do?
They got a 10, and then they got another 10. So they got rid of the one
took out
cavalry.
yeah.
Yes.
And then Chris's archers took out some more of the Elven archers.
Yes.
And
The Elven archers took out a couple goblins.
indeed, and of course these rangers over here have been phenomenal. Managed to shoot up what was left of a unit of warriors over here in the back.
That's right.
Taking up all 4. Now Chris is booked forward with his mages, not casting any spells. He's trying to get the Stolen March off. It just hasn't been happening. But looks like he is getting some units across. It's going to be tight as we go into turn 7. Let's see those initiatives.
This is the initiative.
Chris, you never win initiative.
I never get it. It never happens for me.
9-2.
I never get it. 9-8.
Chris, you got
There you
it.
Whoa!
Congratulations. All right.
Fighting to win. My
I'm not
ultimate
sure
strategy.
how much it matters at this point, but congratulations.
It's the ultimate strategy, actually.
All right, let's go and fight this turn 7, see where we're at after that.
Yep.
All right, so we're in the middle of turn 7. Jim has just surrendered. He's done the math. He's taken another beating this turn, especially against his archers, unfortunately. The Rangers, who are probably the MVPs of the game, are down to half strength now. So the Nucker does more damage. The bad food did nothing to slow him down.
Yeah.
All right, well, boys, any final thoughts before we wrap up?
That Nucker, man.
Yeah, it really did a number on everything.
You had no plan to do anything to slow it down, I will say.
Yeah. I mean, the one time I had the plan of the command, but then
Yeah.
it got eaten up by that initiative. But beyond that, yes, you're right. I agree.
And then otherwise, I thought you played well, and both played well. The river still a very tough scenario for the attacker, just a little bit more doable with the house rules.
Yeah, if it wasn't for that, it's just... it wouldn't even be a game.
Yeah, it's not much fun either.
Yeah.
All right, well, thanks for joining us on the Warcorgi YouTube network. Stay tuned for some more Oathmark coming in the future. Bye-bye.